Is selling books on Amazon dead?
Look, grind hard, well done, sir, and welcome to the freaking well show. And party central to my well ones. A night of violated hell codes. Dope sells like the charge do, but selling's all about potential.
What's going on, guys? My name's Avery, aka Roma the Roamer. I sold $1.4 million in used books last year, and in this video I'm going to talk about exactly why selling books on Amazon is dead or not dead. You're going to get my professional opinion on it. I've been selling books for 4+ years now, and we're going to break it down step by step. I'm talking about selling Amazon FBA books, selling books on Amazon FBA. So yeah, let's get into it. So over the years, I've built a lot of muscle, not just in my book business, but also in my physical body. So when it comes to giving advice on Amazon, I know my shit. And it's my goal to have 100 full-time Amazon sellers. That's 100 people that are able to quit their job, go to their boss and say, I'm done, I don't want to work for you anymore. And I think about this a lot. I think, is selling books on Amazon dead? And the short answer is no, but there are several scenarios where the answer will be yes. Depends on you, depends on your goals, depends on where you live, and we're gonna dive into all of this in this video right now. I'm gonna keep saying in this video until this video is over, because I've already said it 3 times, but let's get into it. So it's important to realize there's 2 main ways of selling books on Amazon. Now, I'm oversimplifying it, but 90% of people on YouTube, 90% of people in the reselling community, or maybe even closer to 95%, when they talk about selling books, they talk about, going to thrift stores, libraries, using other methods to find books and sell them. So this is called cherry picking. This is when you go in and you scan the books physically. You're basically going in and finding items to arbitrage. Now, most of these sellers, they expand their book businesses to CDs, DVDs, maybe even board games. Maybe even they add other arbitrage items. Maybe they even graduate to retail arbitrage. By the way, guys, I know booksellers that sell, I know retail arbitrage sellers that do $1 million a year. I know booksellers that do $5 million plus a year. Okay, it's not like one is inherently better than the other. It's what type of business are you building? So it's important to understand with any cherry picking model, your chance of building a business that is automated, delegated, a true business where it operates in your absence, very, 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 very slim, because you and all your margin is dependent on going out and physically sourcing products, which is very hard to delegate. It's very hard to find other people to do that for you at scale and long term. So it's very important to realize cherry picking, most of the time when people say, most of the time people start with cherry picking and then they're like, oh, well, this other model is better, and the other model they're looking at might be online arbitrage, it might be wholesale, it might be private label, and they're like, well, yeah, book selling was great for a while because the ROI was there, the return on your investment. You spend $1 to make 10, you spend $1 to make 100. There's no return on your investment like books, but they're comparing apples to oranges because they're comparing cherry picking to other business models that have delegation built in them. What do I mean? Private label, wholesale, and online arbitrage. These 3 ways of sourcing and finding products, generally you're using a prep center. Generally, with all these models, you're using Amazon FBA. The sourcing required to do any of these models do not require you to physically drive in your car, go into a store, and buy products. So yes, all 3 of these are more scalable than books, but when people say books, they're talking about cherry picking books. There's also bulk books. Is selling bulk books, is books as a category on Amazon, is that dead? I would also say no, but if you're in the middle of Idaho and you don't live close to any thrift stores or any source for good books, or even if you live in a city that has access to really shitty books, you're probably even more screwed than somebody who has access to no books, because you might convince yourself that, oh yeah, well, this guy in New Jersey, or this guy in Boston, or this guy in San Diego is crushing it with books. I know people in all those cities or states that are crushing it with books, but if you live in a state that has terrible books, or a city that has terrible books, and you compare your business to theirs, your average sales price might be $7. Their average sales price might be $14. That means you require the same amount of manpower to prep and ship your books to Amazon FBA, but they get 5 times the reward, because if you sell a $14 book on average, you're getting $7 to $8 from Amazon. If you sell a $7 book on average, you're getting nothing. You're getting a couple bucks, if that. You're probably breaking even, depending on the weight of the book. So very important to realize Location is also super important. I can guarantee you, if you live in any big city and you're willing to hustle, you can make bulk books work for you, especially if you live in the Northeast region of the United States. 20% of the wealth is 20% of the people live in the Northeast, 80% of the wealth is there. That's why Mama Profits is crushing it, going to thrift stores, and she's able to do 5,000 sometimes, some months, I don't know exactly what her numbers are, selling used books with the fucking Amazon seller app. Hopefully Mama Profit's not watching this right now because I'm cussing, but she's able to go in and scan with the Amazon seller app, not even Scout IQ, not even an optimized app that allows you to scan books fast, and she's still able to turn massive profits each month. Why? Because the books up there are better. That's just the cold, hard truth a lot of people don't talk about. In different regions of the country, there's better books. And so if you live in a place with really shitty books, don't expect to build a business equivalent to somebody who lives in a good part of the country, okay? So different business models, there's cherry picking, there's bulk, and there's not just that, guys. Out of the top 10 sellers on Amazon, many of them, top 10 Amazon sellers, usually it's changing. I check it from time to time. At one time, there's like 3 booksellers. I think right now there's at least 1 bookseller I can think of. Glenn the Bookseller, sometimes Thrift Books, sometimes Discover Books. They all go up there. They all have different business models. You know, sellbackyourbook.com, they get books from not only the reselling community, but also all the general public. You can't tell me that people aren't going to stop wanting cash for their books. And you also can't tell me that people are going to stop wanting to read physical books. From 2001 through 2018, the same number of used books were sold, according to Statista.com. I think it's those years. It's been a while since I've looked at those stats. What does that mean? Well, yes, there's more people on Earth now, so arguably there's less demand for print books, but the same number of print books were sold well over a decade. That in and of itself is enough to say used books probably aren't going anywhere in the next 10, 20 years. My generation still loves and prefers physical books over ebooks. So in terms of like the longevity of the book selling market at scale as a whole, yes, there's still demand for it. Now, I don't know about the generation below me or the one below them, if they're going to prefer used books, and maybe it's a good idea to consider things like that, which is part of the reason why I am diversifying to online arbitrage, because my market is almost 100% textbooks right now. My business sells almost all textbooks. That's another thing. It's like, is used books dead? Okay, are we talking about cherry picking? Are we talking about bulk? Are we talking about textbooks? Are we talking about children's books? Are we talking about, like, what are we talking about here? There's so many different categories. Like, the college industry, it's slightly losing popularity, but not really. Like, if you guys watch Netflix, there's a Netflix documentary that just was released. People take so much pride in their kids going to school, and they pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for their kids to go to school. Are they going to pay $300 for a fucking Pearson textbook? Yes, they are. You know, and you'll probably sell it to them for a used Pearson textbook for $150, and they'll buy it from you gladly. They won't think twice, you know. But the thing is that going to be around a decade from now? My gut tells me yes, but Pearson is trying to, they're pushing really hard to have ebooks. You know, they've been trying hard for the last decade, and look how many textbooks we still sell. I sold over $1 million in textbook, or close to $1 million in textbooks last year. I also sold some chlorine and CDs and DVDs and other things, but I bet it's 900,000 of that was at least textbooks. So I'm selling a lot of textbooks still, but that's like another segment of the market. There's a lot of things going on here, but as a whole, to circle back to my original point, I don't think that if you want to live a lifestyle like I live, you guys will see me in Colombia, the country. I'm moving to Cali to learn Spanish. If you guys want to be able to live that 4-hour work week where you travel wherever the fuck you want, you're either going to need to build a systematized book business that does not require you to physically be there, which means bulk books in a city with a good source of books and completely systematize it, or it means you can't do that with cherry picking. It's just not going to work. If you want the lifestyle to live wherever the fuck you want and do whatever the fuck you want, you're probably going to need to do something else. Okay? Doesn't mean books are dead. Books are probably one of the best ways to get started on Amazon. If you have $100, $200, go out, fucking hustle, buy as many books as you can. You can get books for free. It's the best way to start building capital. It's the best way to get your first win on Amazon. It's a very low risk way to get started. Again, if you're super ambitious, intelligent, smart, hardworking, some of the top Amazon sellers are booksellers. And in my opinion, if you look at their business models, they can be doing a lot of things different. I'm talking about the monsters, guys. I'm talking about the giants. And so if you're looking at book selling from that angle, it's like, well, if you're a real young, ambitious kid, or maybe an ambitious fucking, what's his name, McDonald's guy, can't even think of his name right now. it'll come to me in a second. But the guy who franchised McDonald's and made it crazy didn't start till, damn, it's on the tip of my tongue, until he was 50 years old. So maybe you're really ambitious and you want to build $1 million Amazon business. Some of the top Amazon sellers are booksellers, guys. So it doesn't mean that that market is not there, but you should consider things that are happening. Is college becoming less popular or more popular? Are print books becoming, they're definitely not becoming more popular, but people definitely prefer print. People still have a preference for print books. So I don't think any bookseller should be concerned about books disappearing from the demand of the marketplace, demand for books disappearing. And so overall, those are my thoughts on books as a whole. Still think they're a fucking phenomenal way to get started. I'm building my book business still. Like, I'm talking a lot about OA, but I'm making massive changes in my book business to capture some of that market that I'm not capturing. You know, there's a whole general public of people, like the whole general public. That just sounds weird me saying that, but general public of people that have books in their houses and they want cash for them. And there's a way to get those eyeballs to look at your business and, you know, give you their books so you can make money off of them. It's just, how do you get in front of them? I'm working a lot on that this year. I'm basically taking restrictedinventory.com, the service where I help you guys sell your textbooks, open it up to the whole world, the students, you know, everyone. And that market is huge, you know. So me, myself, still believe in the book selling market. But if you're 18 years old and you want to be, you know, doing 100K in sales every month while you're living in Bali or South America, wherever, I would say online arbitrage would probably be a much better route for you. Online arbitrage over wholesale, because it takes less capital and you can get a return on your investment with higher margins quicker. And that's why I'm so passionate about it. I do want to help 100 people quit their job, but I don't think that selling books on Amazon is going to be the way that I help everybody do that. I've helped a lot of people who are still selling books to this day, but a lot of people, 16 out of the 100 people that I want to help, it's not just 100, I want to help more than 100, but 100 is like, I want 100 people to come to me and say, I quit my job. I was able to go to my boss and say, fuck you. That's my goal. And 16 people have, but out of those 16 people that have, a lot of people graduated, I don't like that word, but they graduated from books, meaning they started with books. The reason why I don't like the word graduated is it insinuates that book selling is an inferior market. No, you didn't graduate from books. You graduated from cherry picking. You graduated from going out to fucking thrift stores, going to physical places. You could graduate from retail arbitrage as well. You could graduate from garage selling. You could graduate from all these things. You graduated from an inferior business model that required you to go out, drive in your car, walk in a place, and spend cash to get items. And you graduated to a business model that allowed you to not be there. Most people graduate from book selling either to retail arbitrage, which allows you to spend more money in a shorter amount of time. So they're still kind of trapped in that idea of going out and finding products physically. But now they can spend $100,000 in a week at Walmart or Target or these other stores. So they're able not to get a higher return on their investment, but they're able to spend more. Therefore, they're able to make more money in a shorter amount of time, because you can't spend $100,000 on books in a week if you try. It's fucking difficult unless you have like a massive team and you're doing truckloads. Even then, it'd still be hard to spend that much money. I don't think anybody's ever spent $100,000 on books in a week, unless you're doing like online arbitrage or something else. If you spend $100,000 on books in a week, drop a comment below and let's talk. That's it, guys. I'm in a rambling mood. I've had quite a bit of caffeine today. I'm excited. I just did 3 reps of that canoe push-up. Hope you guys like that. And go ahead and smash that like button if you guys like that video. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. Much love. Peace out.